Yeah, I think the first like inclination came from I think my friend who referred me to join this program after she shared her experience of what she went through, and I started like looking at Coacharya and other programs, and I was just comparing the curriculum and the trainers and what are we like, what is Coacharya offering differently. And I felt like as I was going through the program, as I was going through like the methodology in terms of like the number of weeks that were being offered, and the way the content was being delivered by the trainer, and most specifically I think the presence of ontology and the marriage of ontology with coaching that Dreyvan was offering. I think after speaking with him, I realized that that's like the thing that I feel so connected to. Even at that point, I hadn't even joined the course, but still, I was feeling that, oh my God, this is where I feel like this is what I would like to do. So, yeah. Yeah, so I think thanks to like Dreyvan and the coach design of the coach, actually, I feel like this program has really helped me um look at myself very differently. And the biggest factor that has contributed to this is just the inquiry about um who I am as a person is so much more important than what I'm doing as a person. And I think that's been a tremendous shift in how I've tried to perceive myself and the world outside, and the people that I meet, etc. So I think that's been a very interesting shift in perspective that I've gotten from the course, where I've started looking at people very differently, started looking at myself very differently, and also believe in the power of coaching and how this seems to me as a transformational process, both as somebody who's getting coached and somebody who's coaching somebody. So I feel like overall it's been like an experience, and it's so difficult to, I think, put the essence of it in words very clearly. So at this point, my understanding and my articulation is that it's really helped me define who I am as a person, and helped me understand that better. For example, like there was this aspect that I have, we've been talking about, um which is in coaching. Yeah, so we talk about, like, the three pillars, and one of that is unconditional positive regard, right? So like the unconditional positive regard, what does that even mean? And how do you really show unconditional positive regard beyond that whole buzzword about unconditional positive regard? So I mean, if we talk to people, we all will say, okay, this is important, and this is something we should offer to our clients. But what does that really mean from the within? Like, who do you have to be to offer that unconditional positive regard? What needs to shift inside you first, so that really helps you kind of automate that process of unconditional positive regard, and it's not a fake process anymore for me. It's not that, like, if I don't like somebody, if I dislike somebody, and I'll go in front of them and I will suddenly turn on the switch and I will have unconditional positive regard. It doesn't work that way. So how, what does that really mean? So that's one example that I kind of learned from that coach, that who do you have to be, not what you have to do to show unconditional positive regard. I think so that's kind of the difference, one difference. The another difference was like about, like, you have to be really present in the conversation. What does that mean? What does presence even look like? What does presence even feel like? Like, it's easier to say, okay, I have to be present in the conversation, and as I'm in the conversation as a coach, that there are like so many things and ideas and thoughts and questions in my head. So I'm not really being present, I'm just saying that I'm present. So how do you experience being present in the conversation? I think that's something that I got to learn from Trevan, and I think that's again changed the way how I kind of experience things before, and like what I'm experiencing now. I think, I mean, definitely the first criteria is that this is something that you feel, or you have an inclination towards, that this is an important thing to like. It's an important, like, coaching is a very important profession in the world. So for somebody who believes, who either experienced the power of coaching through a different coach, or who wants to basically think about using themselves as a way to transform the world and the people around them, I think that's this the starting criteria for coaching. But even if you're not there and you are somebody who's looking to really look at what does it mean to kind of impact your own journey by like in its in some or different ways, even if you're not sure whether you want to go ahead and right away start your coaching practice, I think this is a great self transformational program as well, because you learn so much about yourself, you learn so much about who you are, and the blind spots and the things that you never thought existed in you, but they come out, and then you're like, oh my god, this is a part of me which I didn't even know about. So anybody who wants to go through the self inquiry process, self transformation process, and then who wants to lead that self transformation process with others as well, I think that those are like the right people who would like to who should join this course. No, I feel like first the amount of different like growth avenues in Coacharya, for example, the availability of peer coaching sessions, the resources, the amount of information that is given to us and shared with us. I think that's a really added plus point, and I don't have to go out and look for things. Everything available in house, and even what people have written within Coacharya, I think is of great value. So I feel like that is a big reason for people to consider Coacharya. And the second is, I think the at least the quality of the trainer that I experienced. I feel like at no point in time I felt like that like an iota of lack of genuineness, right? Like it was, all the sessions were so powerful, they were so like they were all the same, with same level of energy, with same level of um enthusiasm and passion that with which Revan was kind of delivering the course. His I mean, the coaches in Coacharya, at least the one that I have experienced, Revan has gone out of his way to kind of really help us understand things that we would never get access to in a program that's low touch. And I feel good part about Coachare, it's a very high touch program, which is like you have a decent amount of weeks that you kind of get with your coach. And whereas in other programs, what I saw, you barely get like a few weekends, and that's pretty much it. So I feel like here the approach is like really hands on, and you feel that way. And I'm like, when I was looking for other courses, at least I could not feel like connected or feel that okay, that was the right program for me. And I think it was because of these things and the references that I got, which made me believe that this Coacharya is the right place for me to go ahead with this program. Can't even fathom like this whole aspect around like it's still difficult to kind of process that I have gotten coached by Dreyvan, because as I said, like it's been a life-changing experience getting taught by him. I feel like his experience, his effort, or his pursuit of self-inquiry and about self and being, I think has added so like such a tremendous value to him being a trainer and then sharing those learnings with us. I think he's one of the only teachers or the coach who I have never missed a single session for, because of his very like infectious energy which he brings to the class, even on Saturday morning at 7 a.m., which makes all of us like also feel more awake and alive and like be present in the conversation. um and I feel like his approach to learning in itself is so different, which is so conversational, so experience driven, so derived from examples and what he has experienced as well, which I think makes whatever he's saying so much more real. um and the fact that he kind of rooted the conversation in like real life examples, versus intellectualizing the concept of coaching first, and kind of leaving the examples for later. And I think that in itself was really, really powerful for me to hear from his examples on what, how has he reached here where he has, um, and how that's changed life for him. So I think that was like something that I have really appreciated from Dreyvan, and I feel like even the fact that his course like was stemming from aspects of ontology, which again was one of the like very, very important reasons why I joined this course, because it had ontology, like some elements of ontology added to it. And I feel like it was, that is what really shifted our experience in itself. And I feel like the fact that he brought that into the course, and he has really kind of like given it all in terms of helping us understand those different pieces of like, what does it mean to really be yourself, and how does that even help you, and all the aspects of the being of the person. I feel like would have been, uh, I would not have enjoyed those conversations if it wasn't from the ontological perspective that Prevan brought to the course. Um, so yeah, I'm very like thankful to Coacharya for having a coach like Dreyvan. Thankful to Dreyvan for really bringing himself out, and being so like honest, and being himself in the conversations in during our classes and during our sessions. And yeah, and everybody, I think how he's kind of led the classroom and how he has led the community, that like the peers, etc. I think it's just phenomenal.